You could leave my son Tyson's name out of your mouth.
What?
Leave his name out of your mouth. You're good enough to suck his
real.
dick,
Tyson
mate.
come to spar me and I treated them like a...
Friggin' jealous because they're nobody. They're just irrelevant people now. Let me tell you in boxing, mate, people are only interested in current champions, men who's doing stuff today, who's getting in and fighting. No one wants to know about an has-been.
Hey, yo, 6 p.m., baby, get your tickets!
John Fury didn't just exchange words this time. He turned a heated press conference into one of the most talked about moments in boxing. Instead of keeping the confrontation verbal, he stormed toward Froch and Darren Till, shoving both men in full view of the cameras while calling them losers. It wasn't the usual pre-fight trash talk that fans have come to expect.
It's our Little John. Little John. Little John. What are you gonna do? I'm on my own. Get you at your security and that you're a ming pair of houses. I'll absolutely tear you upside down. What? Yeah, be quiet, Little John. Go back to your rock. Tyson got blood on your seen or heard of you. You laid back.
It was a physical confrontation that instantly changed the atmosphere and left everyone wondering whether the rivalry had crossed a line that shouldn't have been crossed. Boxing has always thrived on tension, heated face-offs, and emotional exchanges, but this felt different. Press conferences are designed to build anticipation.
You can't fight, you've got no power. The IQ of a loaf of bread. You're an absolute emptyhead. Mate, you're an emptyhead. You're an emptyhead.
Not descend into physical chaos before any bell has even rung. John Fury's actions immediately became the biggest story of the event, overshadowing everything else that had been planned. Darren Till, however, showed no signs of being intimidated. Rather than backing away after being shoved, the former MMA star responded with
pressure is now on John to behave himself. He's distracted a lot of attention and talk, and I'm quite sure someone will have a word with him at the authorities as well.
Confidence and aggression. He dismissed John Fury's attempt to intimidate him, suggesting the shove meant nothing and insisting that John had no real power over him. Instead of calming the situation, Till's response only added more fuel to the fire. Till made it clear that he wasn't interested in acting scared for the cameras.
Rather than retaliating and hate on somebody, this man really does have mental health issues, it's evident to see. And rather than just go back and forward with him and yada yada yada, saying he's deluded and all that, I'm just going to pray for him and I'm going to ask God to help him.
In fact, he appeared almost amused by the confrontation, making it obvious that physical intimidation wasn't going to work on someone who has spent years competing in some of the toughest combat sports in the world. If John Fury expected Darren Till to retreat, he misjudged his opponent completely. Former world champion Johnny Nelson
a friggin' shithouse.
A friggin' shithouse.
To me, when you call somebody a shithouse, it means they're a bottle job. It means they're scared to fight anybody. I fear no man born from his mother. I don't even know what that means, but he's called me a has-been. What's all this has-been business?
People are only interested in current champions, men who's doing stuff today, who's getting in and fighting. No one wants to know about an has-been. And that's all these people are, has-beens.
That comes from somebody who's a never-been. Have you ever been to call me a has-been? Has-beens, it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. It comes from a jealous place.
Because they're friggin' jealous, because they're nobody.
I've never been jealous. I'm happy for boxers that get paid good money for doing the hardest, what I consider to be the hardest sport in the world.
He's been a champion of the world, but I'll tell you what, he's not a champion of the world man, is he? He's a first-class shithouse, wants to kick up the arse.
John Fury, there's no jealousy. I've never been a has-been. Once a champion,
offered one of the most balanced reactions to the incident. According to Nelson, John Fury appeared to get caught up in his emotions, allowing his temper to dictate his actions rather than thinking through the consequences. In his view, this wasn't calculated promotion or clever mind games. It was simply anger boiling.
That to everyone. I'm here to do what I'm here to do. And I couldn't give a fuck if I bumped into John Fury and the family in the street now, because it's on them what they want to do. They're more asked about me than I'm asked about them, so if they want it, I'll have it with every fucking single one of them in the street, and I'll get my head completely smashed in.
Over in public. Nelson argued that once the initial adrenaline wears off, the real consequences begin. Every action at a major press conference is captured from multiple angles, replayed across social media, and analyzed by fans and experts alike. Instead of creating excitement for the right reasons, John Fury had created questions about his self-control.
John is an emotional being, gets into the moment, forgets himself. You can see, excuse the bad language, but this is, you know, when you see that, this is the moment when he realised he beat up. It was that, you know, when John had done it, like, shit, what have I done? But he had to own it. I think the pressure was on. The pressure is now on John to behave himself. He's distracted a lot of attention and talk.
And whether he had allowed emotion to overshadow good judgment. Even more surprising was Tyson Fury's reaction. Rather than rushing to defend his father publicly, Tyson appeared to distance himself from the incident, saying he would pray for John instead of justifying what had happened. That response caught many people off guard. When your own son chooses...
John Fury was doing that and goading Carl Froch. And I know John Fury doesn't like Carl Froch. Carl Froch mentions him, although I haven't really watched much of Carl Froch's videos lately. But Carl Froch, I know, has mentioned John Fury in the past. He's had a go with John Fury. They actually talked about having an actual, was it an exhibition or a boxing type match? And John Fury, you know, any man, any time, was saying words to the effect of, oh, I'll fight you, Carl Froch, but the money has to be right. And Carl Froch basically said, all right, well, if we arrange payment...
It is not to defend your actions. It sends a powerful message. Tyson's comments suggested that even he believed the confrontation had gone too far. Instead of standing behind his father's behavior, he appeared concerned about it, adding another layer to an already controversial situation. Carl Froch also refused to let the shove define the moment. Rather than focusing solely on the physical contact, he took particular exception to being called a has-been. For someone with Froch's accomplishments, the label clearly struck a nerve. The former unified world champion reminded everyone of what he achieved during his career and rejected the suggestion.
And I'm thinking, you don't want to get involved in this thing here. And afterwards, I saw his interview with one of the main men of the zone, saying, look, there is an appetite there. So now the conversation is, will Carl do it? Carl saying, give me 6 weeks.
Suggestion that his legacy could simply be dismissed because he retired years ago. His response wasn't one of fear. It was one of pride. Froch wasn't backing down. And if anything, John Fury's insults only motivated him to defend his reputation more aggressively. Darren Till remained equally defiant throughout the fallout. He insisted that nothing about the confrontation had changed his mindset and suggested he'd happily face John Fury or anyone else connected to him if matters continued to escalate. Whether taken literally or simply as fighting talk, the message was...
I don't think it's a fair playing field in a boxing ring, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, Carl's a former world champion. He is a unified champion. Froch was a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, so if it's in a boxing ring, I don't think that's very fair on Darren. But if it is, you know, if they two were to meet in a dark alley somewhere, I don't think Carl's coming out the same.
Unmistakable. Till wasn't intimidated in the slightest. Johnny Nelson continued emphasizing the same point throughout the discussion. He believed John Fury had become distracted by emotion and lost sight of the bigger picture. Confronting two experienced fighters at the same time wasn't demonstrating toughness. It was creating unnecessary problems. According to Nelson, someone close to John Fury may need to step in before these emotional outbursts become an even bigger issue. In combat sports,
not only did I see him box, I had people sparring him, I had sparring partners for him. You know, when he boxed for Mick Hennessy, we sat down and talked a lot when we were over in America and places, and you know, he was a big Nas fan, and he's a big fan of my dad. And I always remember one fight he had, Junior Witter boxing in America, and we're coming back. And he was sat in the airport with us for a good 1 or 2 hours talking about boxing and everything like that. So, you know, from that point of view, you know, I've got a lot of respect for...
Confidence is valuable, but discipline is equally important. Without discipline, confidence can quickly become recklessness. Journalist Liam Goff also pointed out that this wasn't a random confrontation. There has been genuine tension between John Fury and Carl Froch for quite some time. The bad blood has built gradually through interviews, criticism, and public disagreements, making this latest incident feel like the boiling point rather than an isolated explosion.
If my father behaved like that at a press conference, I would put him straight and tell him it's embarrassing and it can't be happening, mate. It's a really bad look for boxing. I'm actually surprised it's been allowed to go on and happen in a place where they're at, to be honest.
Because of that history, talk of a possible exhibition bout between the two suddenly seems much more realistic. What previously sounded like entertainment now feels like something both sides may genuinely want to settle. Goff also highlighted the contrast between the two personalities. While John Fury approached the situation with aggression, Carl Froch had previously spoken about charity exhibitions and respectful competition.
Being John Fury went straight for him. I'm not quite sure what he was going to do if he got to him, but I guess that was the entertainment from the press conference.
That difference in approach became even more noticeable after the shove. Johnny Nelson later revealed that he had predicted something like this could eventually happen. He had sensed growing frustration between the camps long before the press conference took place. Seeing the confrontation unfold only reinforced his belief that the rivalry had been heading toward an explosion for quite some time. Now, after physical contact has already occurred, many believe the possibility of an actual fight.
Once Darren Till jumping off the ring to you, fucking threatening to choke you and all that, you know what I mean? So it's the last thing I'd want anyway. So fucking I think Carl just got off rather than have the aggro of, you know, Darren Till in front of him, screaming, shouting and spitting in his face.
I'm asking for a prediction. Carl Froch versus Till on the streets and in the ring. Two scenarios, who wins?
Oh, look, I don't know. It's all look on the street. I think we know who wins.
Has increased significantly. Froch has openly claimed he would only need a short training camp to deal with John Fury. Statements that now sound more serious than they did before the confrontation. Tony Bellew brought another perspective to the discussion. He reminded fans that Carl Froch and Darren Till represent two completely different challenges. Froch possesses elite professional boxing credentials, while Till brings years of high-level MMA experience and a reputation for thriving in unpredictable situations. Bellew joked that real-life confrontations don't follow boxing rules.
And he's scary. He's a scary, intimidating man. I don't know if it's the Liverpudlian accent or knowing that he could take this to the ground and finish you that way. I feel like these MMA guys are scary because they know they are the toughest guys on the street, right? It's not just, you know, back in the day, the baddest man on the planet was the boxer. It's not that anymore, is it? I don't know who they're going to find to fight him.
Carl Froch?
I mean, there was a bit of a fight him.
Do you not think?
Well, Carl's not fought for 11 years. I know he still looks great and he hits the bag, but no one's hit him with small gloves for 11.
Suggesting Darren Till might actually be the more dangerous individual outside a regulated boxing match. By confronting both men simultaneously, John Fury may have underestimated how unpredictable the situation could become. Trainer Dominic Ingle also spoke about Carl Froch's character, describing him as respectful, humble, and deeply passionate about boxing. Ingle recalled years of positive interactions with Froch, painting a picture completely different from the aggressive atmosphere seen at the press conference. That perspective made John Fury's behavior appear even harsher. Rather than seeing Froch as someone deserving public humiliation,
in the ring, Carl Froch is an unbelievable fighter. Darren Till knows that. Carl Froch is an older version of himself now, been out the ring a long time. Whether he wants to fight again is a different story, but look, I would love to see it now. Yeah, honestly.
Till described him as a respected figure who had earned admiration throughout his career. Tony Bellew didn't hide his feelings either. He described the incident as embarrassing and questioned why security allowed matters to escalate as far as they did. From Bellew's viewpoint, event organizers should have stepped in much sooner to prevent physical contact altogether. Presenter Ade Oladipo admitted he was left confused by John Fury's intentions. Once John reached Carl Froch and Darren Till, there didn't appear to be a clear plan beyond creating chaos. Instead of building hype through words, the moment quickly became a physical spectacle. Liam Smith also weighed in, suggesting Carl Froch actually handled the situation remarkably well, considering the level of shouting, confrontation, and physical.
So bigger, heavier, potentially probably not stronger than me. I'm a machine.
Yeah.
I'm like genetically gifted and all that.
And it only takes one punch. And they're not good defensive fighters anyway. They, you know, they go for the okey doke. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Give him one of those.
Give him a little feint.
Yeah.
Couple of feints, good foot movement, walk him into a shot.
Yeah.
Probably dominate him with a jab.
They don't know about body shots either.
So what are you thinking? Easy work for the Cobra?
Easy work for the Cobra. Can I be your coach, please?
Jump in the corner, man. Easy money for the Lewis machine.
Yeah. I want to be his coach.
Let's have a team,
all right,
man.
just go out there and knock him out.
Aggression involved, Smith believed Froch showed significant restraint. Ade Oladipo further noted that Darren Till brings an intimidating presence because of his MMA background. Unlike traditional boxing rivalries, Till's experience includes countless real fights inside the cage, making him someone few people actively seek confrontation with. Meanwhile, Carl Froch has been retired from professional competition for many years, arguably making him the less threatening target physically despite his incredible boxing resume. Liam Smith admitted he'd genuinely like to see Carl Froch return for one more fight. After witnessing everything unfold, curiosity surrounding a potential comeback has only grown stronger. Whether Froch actually wants that challenge remains uncertain, but public interest has undoubtedly increased. A conversation involving Lennox Lewis and Carl Froch painted an entirely different picture. Rather than dwelling on anger, the pair discussed boxing tactics, footwork, feints.
Plus, since he's boxed. So, 10 years ago, he would have smashed Darren Till all over the shop, right? And I think Darren actually, like, for all Darren's madness, he's not an idiot. I think he knows that. But 10 years on, and not having took a punch in 10 years, and definitely gone a bit softer, because that's just life, it all of a sudden becomes, dare I say, a bit of a 50-50.
And strategy with relaxed confidence. Their calm conversation contrasted sharply with John Fury's emotional outburst. While John Fury generated headlines through confrontation, Froch appeared focused on boxing itself. That difference in attitude stood out to many observers and reinforced the perception that Froch remained composed despite everything that had happened. Eddie Hearn added an interesting layer by discussing a possible Carl Froch versus Darren Till fight. He acknowledged that Froch at his peak would likely have been a heavy favorite, but argued that time changes every athlete. After more than a decade away from professional competition, Hearn suggested such a contest could now be far more competitive than many fans assume. George Groves, meanwhile, questioned whether Carl Froch genuinely wants to return or whether emotion simply pushed him into talking about another fight. According to Groves, discussing a comeback is one thing, actually stepping back into the ring is something entirely different. Only time will reveal whether this rivalry develops into an official contest or simply remains another unforgettable chapter in boxing's long history of heated feuds.
Versus Till. I don't know, man. He's 48 years old now, Froch. You know, he looks good when he takes a picture, you know, with a moody light in after a few abs and that. But Darren Till, he's still fighting, isn't he? He still knows what it's like to get punched in the teeth. It's been a while since Froch's been punched in the teeth. So I think he does well. I think it sells. If he wants to do it, he should do it. But I got a feeling Froch don't want it. I don't think Froch wants it. I think he says he wants it, but when it comes down to it.
What is beyond debate is that John Fury transformed a routine press conference into one of the most controversial boxing moments of the year. His decision to physically confront both Carl Froch and Darren Till ensured the incident would dominate headlines, spark endless debate, and leave fans divided over whether passion crossed the line into recklessness. Carl Froch defended his legacy. Darren Till refused to be intimidated. Tyson Fury distanced himself from his father's behavior. Boxing figures including Johnny Nelson, Tony Bellew, Eddie Hearn, George Groves, Dominic Ingle, Ade Oladipo, Liam Smith, and Liam Goff all offered differing perspectives on what unfolded, but nearly everyone agreed on one point. This was far more than ordinary promotional drama. The biggest question now is what happens next. Will this confrontation lead to an official fight, or will it remain another explosive press conference that generated headlines but never produced a bout? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who came out looking better? Who crossed the line? And if these rivalries continue to escalate, who would you actually like to see step into the ring? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter in this increasingly explosive boxing saga.